When it comes to tech and gadgets, manufacturers are very good at selling gimmicks, and especially in the world of phones and laptops, but not this time. This is the ASUS Zenbook Pro 14 Duo, and it's a fantastic laptop. I reviewed a version of this back in 2021 or so, a long time ago. And this has seen some upgrades when it comes to the hardware and the internals as well. Let's start with what you get in the box. So in the box, you get your warranty cards and some user guide to get started very quickly. You also get a couple of risers as well. And this risers just allows you to quickly raise the laptop up off the surface that you've got it in. So that way you keep things nice and cool when you need to. You also get a 180 watt charging brick as well. So in the UK, we get a 3-pin plug. So you can charge this up very quickly and also keep it nice and topped up whilst you're using it, especially if you're going to be gaming. It's good to keep it plugged in. So you get the full power of what this thing is actually capable of. Around the Zenbook Pro 14 Duo, you have plenty of ports available. On the back, you have a full HDMI 2.1 port, a micro SD card slot as well, which is great if you're going to be editing videos from your drone footage, for example. That still uses a micro SD card. So you can easily pop it in there and just edit it away. You also get a DC import, and on the left of the Zenbook Pro 14 Duo, we have an audio jack, and on the right side, a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A port. You also get 2 Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports. You can use the Thunderbolt 4 ports for things like extra 4K displays. It supports fast charge, and you're looking at 40 gigabits per second in terms of the speeds that they're capable of. The laptop itself is very, very well built. It feels very premium. I love the design. I love the subtle logo on the front of the lid as well. And when you open up the lid, you notice the slim bezel that you have here, which just looks really good. You also get your webcam up top as well, which I'm yet to try actually, because usually laptop webcams aren't the best, but this supports Windows Hello, so you can use your face to log in very quickly, or you can just use your good old-fashioned PIN number or password or whatever to log into your system. You'll also notice the new and improved inch design that allows for up to 12 degrees tilting angle and raises the actual rear of the ScreenPad Plus by up to 20 millimeters, resulting in 38% in increased airflow for a cooler machine and a cooler surface as well. So you have all this nice little design here and there that's been well thought through to make sure that this laptop runs as optimal as it can run at all times. More on the display though, we have a dual display setup here, and this is where ASUS have actually created something that's really useful and will actually improve your productivity. So whether it's multitasking with the dual display setup or simply just using the bottom layer for other things that you want to use it for, that's to do with the apps that you're going to run on here like Premiere or Adobe Lightroom, etc. This is a fantastic idea. And remember at the beginning when I talked about gimmicks that manufacturers produce, and this is what makes it stand out. This is not a gimmick at all. It's actually something that's pretty useful. And the way that they've designed it is so smart in the way that they're still able to give us a keyboard, a trackpad on the right side, and everything just works really well. The main display has a 2880 by 1800 16 by 10 OLED display with a 93% screen to body ratio. It's also 120 Hz refresh, which is great for gaming, for example. And you have 100% DCI-P3 color gamut with up to 550 nits peak brightness, and it supports Dolby Vision. What does that mean for you though? You get a really vivid display. It's got high dynamic range, and it's very fluid as well. So whether it's watching movies, gaming, or just scrolling through websites, it's very responsive with less motion blur, and video creators and photo editors can benefit from its color accuracy. The secondary display is a smaller 12.7 inch full width display, yet it offers up to 500 nits peak brightness, features a 2880 by 864 resolution and a 32 by 10 aspect ratio. It also has 120 Hz refresh. And not only do you get the same experience, but you also have the anti-glare technology that's on there. It's useful when you're going to be using this in direct sunlight. So because it's a bit raised, it's harder to actually adjust it to dodge direct sunlight. So this is actually a really good idea that it's raised ever so slightly, so it's easy to see what's actually on there as well. One thing I've got issues with there though is it does have an anti-glare screen or finishing on it. So sometimes that can hinder what you can actually see on there, which means you have to crank up the brightness sometimes to actually be able to see properly on here. But when it comes to viewing angles, that anti-glare does sort of affect your viewing experience for the ScreenPad Plus. That aside though, what makes that ScreenPad Plus a really useful tool is being able to use it for your multitasking needs. So for example, the bottom layer can be something to watch the performance of your laptop while you're gaming. So for example, I've got the ProArt optimization software open, which shows me things like the usage, the temperature, and stuff like that. And I can easily go on there as well and change the fan profile. So for example, on here, I can go from whisper mode, standalone mode, performance mode, and go all the way to full speed mode. So I can increase the fan speed to deal with what I'm actually doing on the Zenbook Pro 14 Duo itself, which is pretty cool. What you can also do is when you're editing videos, for example, on your Adobe Premiere, you can change that bottom layer. It adapts to what you're doing. So that way you can use the scroll wheel, for example, to scrub through your timeline. You can easily export videos with a shortcut on there. And that aside, even if you're not using it with an app, you can also throw some other shortcuts on there. You can even have a number key on there if you want to do so, which means you can then disable the trackpad, use all that area. This is also a touchscreen on both sides. So this is super, super functional. Okay, enough of the display and this dual setup and the design and so on. What about the performance? This version I have here has the latest 13th gen Intel Core i9-13900H processor with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 with NVIDIA Studio Driver. It has 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5 RAM, 2 terabytes of PCIe 4.0 storage, and 85 watts power performance with dual fan boost. All that numbers there, what does that actually mean for you when it comes to day-to-day usage? The RTX 4060 inside brings real-time ray tracing when gaming, AI augmented, you have DLSS 3.0 in a compact machine. You also get MUX switch, which means more power, reduced latency, and boosts the refresh rate. So this is very useful when gaming. Using that MUX switch on here, you can go from MS hybrid or discrete GPU. If you go discrete GPU, it means this is very good for gaming. So it says on here, this mode delivers optimized experience for gaming and other intensive tasks with the lowest button to pixel latency possible. This is best option when system is on AC power. So like I was saying earlier, you want to plug this in to get the best you can get out of this. And when you do that, you want to select that discrete GPU. So especially when it comes to gaming. So when I was playing Apex Legends on here, I was able to put that on, crank up the fan speed, and you're good to go. Running through some benchmarking tools, and it just excels. It's better than most laptops in its class, beaten only by PCs, gaming PCs, and that kind of stuff. It smashed Geekbench in both single and multi-core testing. 3D Mark scored highly as well, and so does PC Mark and Cinebench. Crystal Disk also shows great results when it comes to read and write speeds, which just gives you the confidence. So for the price you're paying for this, which is I think around £1,500 or so, you're getting a lot for your money. You're getting RTX 4060, you're getting big storage, big RAM, one of the latest RAM. It's very speedy as well. This will run a lot of your games as well, AAA games with no issues at all. You can also use this for editing your 4K videos, you know, doing all kind of different things on here. And it's got that dual display setup in a compact, small footprint, which I think is just incredible. Real world use for 4K video import and editing on Adobe Premiere. It worked really well with no glitches. There's no lag, no latency issues. Couple that with that second display, like I was saying earlier, you have a fully loaded editing tool in your hands. Chuck in Apex Legends and you wouldn't even be able to put the game down anytime soon. Just game all day long because it offers that smooth gaming experience with immersive sounds to go with it coming from the speakers. So there's so much good things to say about this laptop and the Zenbook Pro 14 Duo, but the only thing I would say that I had qualms with is the fan noise. I think it's quite loud. Like right now it is on standard mode. So on standard mode, I can still hear the fan. I don't know if you guys can hear it through the microphone at all, but it's still kind of loud and it's already getting warm, just been sat on this desk here. So those risers that came in the packaging come in very handy just for that, just to raise it slightly up to help with just heat dissipation. But if you crank this up to full speed mode, it gets really loud. That is very audible to the extent where you just have to put some headphones on to block out the noise, which is kind of annoying. So one thing though, having said that, is this fan speed, when you crank it up, it actually does a really good job at keeping the laptop very cool. So it goes from really hot and then you crank it up and then you feel it, I reckon about 20 minutes later or so, you can start to feel how this just gets nice. It gets nice and cool, keeps things nice and cool, especially when I was gaming. I noticed that a lot. So for example, if I stick this in full speed mode, yeah, you can hear the fan just going off. It's very loud, very, very loud. So I think for me, either go in whisper mode if you're going to be doing simple tasks like, you know, just doing some documents, you know, browsing the web and so on. Standard mode if you're going to be watching movies because it will get hot very quickly. And then performance mode and full speed mode if you're going to be doing things like gaming or editing on Adobe Premiere or editing on Lightroom. Elsewhere, the keyboard is very accurate and a joy to type on. You even get some privacy keys as well for things like your mic and webcam. So when you're not using those, you can just mute them, block the webcam, so no one has no application or anyone has access to those things. The Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED has an all-day battery life too with that 76 watt-hour high capacity battery, and like I said, you get the fast 180 watts charger in the box, so this will help you charge things up very quickly. But having said that, the battery life on this, it lasts me a whole day, no issues at all, but it will be down to your usage level. So it depends on how much you use it, what you're using it for, how many tabs you got open if you're using Chrome or Edge, and all these other nuances that you have to consider in terms of how this then deals with your battery life. If you're going to be able to use it all day long, will be down to you. But it is capable of doing so. Over to you though. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It's a mouthful to say every time. It's the ASUS Zenbook Pro 14 Duo OLED. So this is the one here. Actually, I think this is the UX480 or something like that. Don't quote me. I'll put it on the screen so you guys know which one exactly this is, with the 4060 RTX 4060 graphics card in there and the latest Intel 13th gen core processor in there. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. If this is your first time around here, please do subscribe, smash the bell notification as well. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.